So with that bit of information, which might just seem like right now you've had a little teeny piece of an encyclopedia about the chakras, please bring your hands together at your heart. The chant that we'll do for class when we're focusing on the third chakra is the Gayatri mantra. Let's begin. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes. Now, I did reference a bit of this over the weekend, and there are places you can go back and listen to some of the classes if you like on the YouTube channel. With digestion, one of the things I like to say is that digestion is for the food that we ingest, so let's make good choices about what that is. But it's also digesting thoughts and emotions and life events. And digestion has multiple parts, but two of them are after what we ingest or after the emotion or the life event has come to us. Two parts of digestion are sifting through what is the waste product, what is the elimination of the food or the emotion or the event in life, and what is the nutritive part. What is it that's going to nourish us? What's going to bring us to the next stage of our growth or understanding emotionally or spiritually? And with food, what's going to nourish the brain and the body? So when you have emotions or life events, if you think of them as whatever the event was, I like to say it like this, might be the carrying agent for the experience you're needing to have for your development. However painful the event might be, the carrying agent is like the food that has the nutrients in it. And some of that food is definitely meant to be waste product. Some of what we're ingesting, the body then, takes care of it and packages it up to send it out on its way. But what we retain should be the nutrients. And if we don't have healthy digestion, having an extremely healthy diet will not be as helpful if we can't absorb, uptake, integrate the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, the good stuff of the food. In the same way with our life events, what is coming in, some of those life events are carrying agents for a spiritual or emotional or psychological growth spurt, even if it's extremely painful. So the part we let go of is the carrying agent. The part we maintain, the part we explore, the part we integrate is that which is helping us to grow, that which is giving us the next developmental stage in our journey. So I hope this is helpful. I don't in any way mean to disregard painful life events. I've certainly had my own, and you know, not just like a long time ago, but they happen all the time. And those painful life events, they are sometimes shocking, or they can feel dysregulating or uprooting, particularly if we're resisting them. So in this case, when a life event comes as a yogi, you think, okay, I've got this digestive fire. What can I do with this? What parts of this am I going to burn away? What parts am I eliminating? And what parts am I going to internalize and learn and grow from? What nutrients am I going to take from this? So that is one reflection on the third chakra. I'm going to ask you now to sit in the most base of your seat, so the most grounded of your seat. There you go. And let me put this so it's going to be out of my way. Great. So now take the arms out to the side, turn your palms face out. This chakra is also called the solar. It's the fire chakra, the solar center. So it has a radiance and a radius. So inhale, raise your arms up. Make that a full circle. Exhale, push the arms wide. Come back down to the floor, just lightly touching at the end of your exhale. Good. And then return. Inhale, rise up from the base to the second to the third and upwards from there. And exhale, push out. Now do that once more. Inhale, rise up. Use the Ujjayi breath, please. And exhale, push out. And then walk forward and place your fingertips. As you stretch the back hemisphere of the body, go ahead and bow your head. And let the breath come into the back hemisphere of each of the chakras. So the tailbone, the sacrum, the back of your waist, the back of the diaphragm. And walk your fingertips a tiny bit to the right. You can picture the radius of the solar center. This is to say from your physical body, like a half circle, what do they call semicircle, from your seat out to the right, forward and over to the left and back to your seat. Walk again to the right, so you're kind of tracing that semicircle. Please keep the left hip grounded on the floor or on your blanket. And then walk again to your right. And walk once more to your right so that your right hand is out here to the right. The left hand will not reach as far as the right hand. And I'm going to ask you to press the right palm firmly down to help you root your left hip. And then inhale like a ribbon of the sunrise. Raise your left arm up and come into a side bend to your right. And you are currently, shall I say, snuggling, squeezing your right side waist, and that means also the ascending colon. Let the right side waist be contracted and the left side expansive. And then exhale, raise your left arm up, use your left low belly, come up to center. And inhale, rise both arms up. Exhale out, like another semicircle, a big radius that you can reach into. And then walk forward. We're going to do the other side of that little sequence. So walk out, and as you bow your head to your heart, again, breathe into the back hemisphere of the chakras. They are three-dimensional, circumferential, not just shining on the front body. So breathe into the tailbone, the base of the sacrum, the back of the sacrum, the back of your waist, the back of the diaphragm. And walk a tiny bit to your left. And walking to your left hand will have a little farther reach than your right hand. That's normal, but do your best to walk a little more to your left and reach back with your right hip and extend your right arm towards your fingertips. And then walk again to your left. And then walk the left hand once more to the left and let the right hand follow as well as it can. And you might have an asymmetry or discrepancy side to side as I do. Place the left palm firmly and begin to raise your right arm up like one ribbon of the sunrise. Peek under your right arm and actively side bend to the left, deliberately squeezing, again, can I say snuggling, the descending colon. And as deliberately opening the right hemisphere of the torso. And then exhale, raise your right arm up, use your right low belly, and inhale to go up. And this time, exhale, sweep the arms wide and reach back to interlace your fingers at the small of your back. Then roll your chest and shoulders and heart open. And then come to sitting upright. Now this is a full spectrum radius, what we have around us. Let's just imagine it. Take your hands, so your fingers are going to point towards your hips. Take your hands behind you. Come to the knuckles if you can, or the heels of the hands if you can. And roll the chest, shoulders, and heart up. Now, as you're opening this way, press down into your fingers, your knuckles, if possible, the heels of your hands. Raise up with the spine and the heart, open your throat. And then bring your head forward, rise up from your fingertips. Now turn your right hand to point to the right and slightly behind you, so it's on a little bit of an angle. And sweep the left arm up alongside your left ear. And now this is a side bend, but it's in the back hemisphere of your big circle. So a side bend and a back bend. Let's inhale, gaze up, reach up. And exhale, side bend, gaze down. Once more, inhale, gaze up. Roll your right shoulder back like a little back bend. And exhale, little side bend. Sweep the left arm down in front of you and let's change sides. So take the left hand to go sideways and slightly back. A little bit like you're part of a sundial. And reach the right arm up. Walk the left hand far enough back that you're really comfortable and you don't have to bend your elbow, your left elbow. So this little bit of a side bend first where you can sense the right hip, we want that to stay grounded. Right side waist has a little curve to it. Yeah. And then reach up and back, a little bit of a back bend like you're opening to the sunrise. And exhale again towards the side bend. Take a deep breath on the right hemisphere of the body. And once more into the back bend. And roll your right arm across, forward, down, rise up to your seat. Rest your hands in your lap. So this solar energy has a radius and radiating. We want to think of it as luminous, like the sun. Please come over to Vajrasana. Vajrasana means kneeling. And again, some of you are going to sit on a chair, some of you are going to sit on a block, some of you will have a blanket between your heels and your knees, all good. So we'll do a little Kriya practice now for digestion. So this, we can, hard to teach the third chakra without teaching kappalabhati because it's called breath of fire. And yet we're in the Pitta season of life. I said this yesterday, that we're in the Pitta season of the year, I should say, the calendar year. And some of us are in the Pitta phase of life. I'm on the arc from Pitta to Vata right now. But this process then, we want a right-sized fire, just enough fire to digest food. You don't need a roaring, flaming fire where you always have like red skin and you're always like sweating too much and you have this these little skin eruptions. That would be Pitta, too much Pitta rising, or headaches, migraines, difficulty with your eyes or your throat, too much Pitta. So we want a right-sized fire for digesting appropriately. We don't need a smoldering teeny weeny fire that's like always going out. We need just a right-sized fire for digesting. So when you have a life event where there's pain, you don't want your fire to be like so big that you feel like burning the other person or singeing somebody. So again, a right-sized fire. Right, so right here, kappalabhati. Place your palms face down. Oh, let's make sure that you're going to be able to come down to the floor. So you'll be able to do this version here. And if you need a block for the head, go ahead and place that at the ready. Okay. Kappalabhati. Exhale completely. Inhale up to suspension. Exhale slowly and completely. Let yourself deeply relax the mind. Place the fists in the belly. We're not doing exhale suspension, but we are going to work with the exhale. So let's inhale while we're sitting upright. Exhale, bow forward so your fists can squeeze into the low belly, support you to more completely exhale. Hold the breath out just for a blip, just for a moment. Then inhale, rise back up to sitting. And exhale, bow forward. We're going to do this 5 times. So more important that we're massaging the belly right now, massaging with the exhale and the fists. And then you inhale to rise up slowly at your own tempo. So we're not doing a formal exhale suspension there. When you're exhaling to bow forward, encourage your fists and your knuckles to press into the deep low belly just above the pubic bone. We'll do this twice more. Last one now. And then as you rise up to sit, rest your hands in your lap again, palms face down. So not only do we have the unmet needs, they can be stored in the second chakra, the unresolved emotions also go to this storage. And they hang out there, impeding us. Okay, kappalabhati, round number 2. A little sip of an inhale to begin. Exhale completely. Inhale up to suspension. Exhale completely. Deeply relax. Place the fists in the belly. This is for 5 Ujjayi breath cycles with a really deliberate exhale, but not an exhale suspension. Continuing at your pace. Perhaps you have 2 more breath cycles. When you complete, then you can again rest your hands in your lap. Let's do it with one palm in the lap of the other, please. And placing your attention down at the base, at the root. The word is Lam, L-A-M. Lam, 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 lam. 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 And then at the second chakra, the word is Vam, spelled V-A-M. Vam, 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 vam. 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 And to the third chakra, the sound is Ram, R-A-M. Ram, 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 ram. 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 Okay. Now please take the legs out. And the legs are like little windshield wipers. You can lean back and shake. I know that you guys can't hear the sounds in my neighborhood. I think that's the garbage recycling and yard debris. I hope it's not the kittens taking the side of the house off. If it doesn't calm down any amount of time that it should, I will go out and check what is happening with the little white fuzzies. Okay, there you go with the legs. All right, let's please rise up to standing. Take a wide stance on your mat. And in this wide stance, walk your hands forward, much like we did when we were sitting. Press down through the heels of both feet. And as you return to the Ujjayi breath, also return to the quality of mind, the state of mind that the chanting brings into you. So just because the pose became more dynamic, I'm going to ask you not to let the mind get all busy. Remember that we need just a right-sized fire. We don't need to set ourselves on fire doing asana. You walk your hands a tiny bit to the right. A little more to the right. Of course, it's fine to use blocks if you need them. One more step to the right. And then to the best of your ability, take the left hand under to hold your right ankle and roll. Keep the left arm straight. Roll your left shoulder down towards the floor. So you begin to twist under the right arm. Broaden the back hemisphere of your body, especially on the left side. And walk your right hand on that semicircle back towards the front of your mat. So you're actually going to be twisting under your right arm even more formally. And then exhale, return your left hand to meet your right hand. You don't need to look where it's going. You can sense that. And take a deep breath in. We're going to go to the other side. So let's make a tiny step to the left. And another small step to the left. And again to your left. Reach back with your right hip so it's not following you, and you really get a sense of lengthening the right side waist and deliberately squeezing the left side waist, which is to say also the descending colon. Walk one more time to your left. And take the right hand under the left to hold the outside of your left ankle. Straighten your right arm and begin to bow your right shoulder towards the floor so it causes a twist of the upper body to your left. And you're going under the left arm. You can walk your left hand in a semicircle back towards the front of your mat. Now, some of you don't have as much hip flexion as I do, which means you don't bend as far forward as I'm doing. And it's okay to bend the knees in a pose like this. It's best if you're going to bend the knees to keep them lined up with your toes so they don't collapse in. Now release your right hand to join your left hand. And then place your palms firmly. Inhale forward to the arm part of plank pose so that you can step your feet in and back to the downward dog pose. And then reach back to your downward facing dog pose. Roll your hips to the right. Roll your hips to the left. Here you could picture that the pelvis is like, if you've ever made bread in a metal bowl, and then you've got it all stirred and it's come away from the side of the bowl, and now it's time to turn the bowl upside down for the bread dough to land on the counter. But you're just kind of encouraging the dough, the inner belly, not to be so adhered to the sides of the ilium, the sides of the pelvis. So going side to side, also you are trying to influence the ascending colon, the descending colon. A lot of our digestive process happens there, not just what we ingest and how well the stomach does, but what happens after that. Let's go one more time to each side. And then walk your hands and feet towards each other. So you're going to come to the pose called Uttanasana, the standing forward bend. From here, shift your hands to your hips and please rise up to standing. The noise that I was concerned about in the house has died down, so I will not vacate to go see what the kittens are doing to the house. Okay, please bring your blocks onto your mat. And place your feet to their hip distance apart. Bring your palms together at your heart. This morning we're going to be seeing side angle pose, Partial Konasana, in the sun salutation. So inhale, hands down, wide and up. Now exhale, sit down to chair pose. And then sit down a little bit deeper, like you're downhill skiing and you're really getting into it. And then exhale, pour yourself down to your Uttanasana. And inhale, glide forward, raise up to your fingertips, open your heart and your throat. Exhale, take the left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up, crescent. Please hook your thumbs, one thumb behind the other. Raise up like an arrow, and to the best of your ability, start gazing up. So zip the pubic bone up, tone the low belly, keep the front ribs snugged in a bit. Lift your heart, your collarbones, your throat. Raise your gaze up with focus, but not too fierce eyes. And then exhale, sweep the arms wide, come forward. And as you touch the two blocks, let's take them both up to the tall setting. Pivot your back heel down. Press into cat pose like we did this past weekend, looking at the warrior series. Now keeping the left lower back strong and broad. Inhale, raise your left arm alongside your left ear and start twisting from the pelvis, inner belly, mid belly, belly button, solar plexus, rib cage, your heart, collarbones, throat, nose and eyes. Now press firmly into your right hand and arm to make this a deliberate side bend of the torso. That's one reason that we're up higher. But I want you to press down through your right arm and curve the left side torso. You are squeezing the right low belly right now, the ascending colon. Okay, now let's level the torso left to right. So the right side is not so much shorter than the left side. And then make a little back bend, lean back. Gaze up towards your left thumb if you can see it. And exhale, lower back down, following your thumb and your fingers to the block. Tip the blocks back down to the medium setting. And step backwards, downward dog pose. Okay, second side, bring your exhale and left foot forward together. Press into your right toes. Inhale, glide up. Hook the thumbs. So you put the other thumb behind. Good, yeah. And then lift the pubic bone. Start gazing up through the front line of your body. Make the breath steady as you're able to. And then exhale, sweep the arms wide, keep the back leg steady. Touch the two blocks. You're not really dependent on them, so you can lightly turn them up to the tall setting, pivot your back heel to the floor, and press the torso into that sort of cat pose spine. And keeping the right kidney broad and expansive, raise your right arm alongside your torso. You're going to twist from the pelvis first. So snug your left sitting bone under your pose. Turn the inner belly, belly button, solar plexus. Broaden the kidneys. Turn through your heart, your throat, your nose, and your eyes. And deliberately broaden the right hemisphere of the torso. So you are sort of squeezing the left side waist on purpose. The pressure down with your left arm is kind of initiating the squeeze, but honestly, you can sustain that squeeze without the force of the left arm. It's the strength of the left low belly. We're going to level the torso so you've got the two sides more equal. And then arc into a little back bend and gaze up towards your right thumb. You might feel your right hip flexors. And then exhale and follow your right thumb back down. Tip the two blocks to the medium setting and step backwards. Downward facing dog pose. You inhale forward to plank. Exhale to cow pose. And then inhale to seal pose. Exhale, high cobra becomes low cobra, becomes the grasshopper pose. I made that name up, the grasshopper pose. See how the elbows are sticking up? This is also a little bit like pranam because the forehead comes down to the floor. The solar plexus is also on the floor, so it's a moment of humility. The third chakra is a place where we do cultivate a sense of humbleness. Energize your legs. Inhale up to low cobra. High cobra. Seal pose. Plank as you exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale, one foot forward, second foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. Hands to the heart. Inhale, rising up. Now you know the dance steps. Exhale, a really deep chair pose. Breathe in. Let the back waist broaden here. Exhale, pour yourself down. You may hold the back of your calves with your hands. Inhale, glide forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Left toes back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Let's exhale and come into Parsvakonasana. Sweep your right arm behind the small of your back. So you're not using the right arm this time. Use the right low belly to sustain the pose and the right outer hip and hamstring. Make the C curve. And then inhale, rise up, warrior two. And exhale, glide down. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rise up, crescent. Exhale, side angle, and sweep the left arm alongside the small of your back. Squeeze the left low belly so you're not resting your torso on your thigh. It is lifted. And there is a C curve to the torso. And inhale, rise up, warrior two. And exhale, glide down. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale completely. Inhale, roll forward to seal pose. Exhale, glide down slowly to the grasshopper pose. The forehead comes to the floor. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And exhale, awkward foot forward, second foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. Hands to the heart. Just the right size fire is all we need. And same thing one more time. Inhale. Chair. Breathe into the back waist. Uttanasana, hands behind your calves if you like. Heart forward. Left toes back. Rising up. Rotating, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, touching down. Downward dog. Left foot forward. Rising. Rotate so the left arm lowers and comes alongside your lower back. Warrior two. Descending. Hello. Inhale, downward dog. Did you take the house apart? Inhale, come forward to seal pose. Sliding down, grasshopper pose. Rising up, seal pose. Plank pose. Vajrasana. Touch the knees down, roll back to your kneeling position. Om Aim Marichaya Namaha. Om Aim Suryaya Namaha. Using a blanket as needed, please take a wide seat. Upavista Konasana. This is the last pose before Shavasana. Please sit on a blanket for any reason that you need to, and don't use a blanket if you don't need to. When you come forward, you can stretch the arms forward if it's appropriate for your position. If you're just managing to come forward, of course, walking the arms forward is not that useful. And if you're only managing to bring the pelvis forward, try sitting up on a couple blankets and bend your knees so the sort of bony interruption between the hip joint and the head of the femur is not preventing you from coming forward. For those of you who are bending forward very comfortably, you can take the hands behind the small of the back. Like we did in side angle pose, it's a gesture of humility. It's not important to take the hands behind the back if it compromises your physical pose. Let's root down with the sitting bones and rise up to your seat. Bring the knees up. And please come to your Shavasana. Let's use the rustic version of Shavasana this morning. So just a simple flat lying Shavasana. And when you lie back, take the arms, palms face up for receptivity, palms face down for grounding. You've been tending to your digestion here, so consider a phrase that might inspire you or remind you through the day that you are capable of digesting not only food, but also emotions, thoughts, life events. You are able to digest, to make use of that which is nutritive, to release what was the carrying agent, to release that which is deliberately part of the elimination, the waste product. Remain very still in your Shavasana, the mind and the body each providing this stillness for the subtle body. The internal systems can come back to homeostasis. Maintaining an inner sense of stillness. Once again, some confidence in yourself that you can digest not just the food you'll eat today, but you can digest the life events that are yours to digest. Welcome you now to slightly deepen your breathing. And just make a thoughtful transition back to a simple seat, please. It's interesting that we're having this class while the garbage, recycling, and yard debris people have been coming and going. They're taking the waste products away. So rise up to your seat, please. We were squeezing, I said snuggling, the ascending and the descending colon. So let your attention rest in this sort of digestive tract right now, just some appreciation from the skin inside the mouth and down through the pipes, all the way through the channels. Just let's have some appreciation for the system for a few moments. It is its own inner ecology inside of the body of our ecology, inside this larger ecology. Now with one hand in the palm of the other, placing your awareness there, raise the palms up just to the second chakra. And here you can imagine we have these undigested emotions that they get stored in the body. And one of the storage places is in the second chakra, where things get frozen. The water element. We also have here the unmet needs, which do strongly influence our emotional valence on any one day. Now coming up to the third chakra, as we grow here, may we have the discernment to navigate the emotions. And even from what we learn here at the third chakra, can we go down, lower the hands, can we go down to the second chakra and welcome what needs to be understood or investigated here, the inquiry down below. And then hands up to the third chakra. Again, may we digest these emotions, these life events, so that we may rise upwards then towards the heart, giving us the capacity for empathy, compassion, loving kindness. And place this in the heart. And then palms together in Anjali Mudra. And raising that up. May each of us everywhere have this capacity for digesting the life events that are not only ours now, but also intergenerational and happening so pervasively in the human condition. May we envision a world where there's a lot more emotional health, therefore relational health, spiritual health. And bring this back down to the heart. And then we share our commitment with each other. And you can imagine that we're sitting in a circle and we make this an offering, we share it with our community, and they are also sharing it with us. And if you're on gallery view, you get the chance to see that. And bring that back in to your Anjali Mudra, to your heart, receiving the compassion of the circle. Bring that down